Hello and welcome to the next video of my minor region preview for summer 2022. Obviously, I'm not going to be watching the minor regions play. I haven't watched the minor regions play outside of MSI, so I really only know one team in each region, at least based on their play style and things like that. Of course, I know who other teams are and some players, but obviously, you don't know how a team operates unless you watch them play almost every game, at least in my opinion, to get a thorough understanding or you know, more than one game, one series. Like if somebody watches a VOD of like a championship series, yeah, I guess you understand a little bit about the players, but could they've just been having a good day? Could they've been the other team having a bad day? How do you predict another split based off of one series? So this is all based off of stats and stats alone. Keep that in mind. Comment down below if the stats are deceiving. It's a possibility. If you're a Latin American fan and you watch LLA, any insight is good. First, I have Rainbow 7. I think Rainbow 7 going into summer is the number one ranked team. CO and Slow and Bot are first in their roles. I also believe that Ophelia, despite me not listing him here, is a top 3 mid in the region immediately. He did play a little bit for Gen G this past split and now is playing for R7. We'll see how he performs. I am really interested to see how he does. I don't have his stats listed here because, frankly, his stats don't look that good compared to the Latin American stats, but then again, you have to keep in mind he played at a much higher level of competition. If anything, it would be more fair to look at his LCK Challenger stats to put it up against the LLA, in my opinion, than the LCK itself. So I think that really Rainbow 7 are in a good position with their carry-oriented roles. CO is first in KDA, gold per minute and kill share. That's why he is the first bot laner on my list. And Slow is first in KDA and KP, first support on the list. Obviously, the bot lane does not die. The KDAs are strong. They do what they have to do. And, that's a recipe for success. Second place, Team Ace, the MSI representatives. They ended up winning one game when nothing was left to play for. I thought that they struggled. They were one of the teams that struggled the most at MSI. Really looking out of place. A lot of people said that they weren't a great team in the regular season. That went on a tear towards the end that got them into MSI, and that, was probably evident. Lonely, I have as the number one rated top laner. Alonad and Straight, in their given roles, I have second place in both. Straight, I understand these stats may not, you may not like these stats. You may say, oh, well, he isn't the second best support. Stats are what they are. Looking at it from you watch the game perspective, maybe you see something different that the stats don't show. Obviously, I don't watch him play outside of MSI, where when he's going against T1's bot lane, how am I going to grade him, it doesn't matter whose bot lane on this board is against T1. They're going to be on struggle street. So Lonely is first. He's the upper half in all the categories. I have like 7 or 8 categories I look at of stats, and he is ranked in the upper half of the Latin American ladder in all of them. Second place in CS and gold per minute being the highest, but everything else he is in the top 4, well-rounded. Clearly there are no weaknesses in his stat line. Alonad, first in champion pool. He played the most champions based on how many games he played for Team Ace in spring. Second in KDA and gold per minute, so he doesn't die. Therefore, he gets gold. He plays a lot of different champions. He's been around for a while. I had known of him before MSI. I had seen him in the past, I believe, with Rainbow 7. So this was not a first impression of Alonad. Obviously, he does not look, he's not like world class, but he is decent for his region. Straight is second because he is in the upper half of all 3 support categories that matter to me. And most importantly, second in KP. So he makes things happen. He affects the game more so than other supports in the region. Third, Isurus. I just want to make sure I was recording. So third, Isurus. Grell, I have as the number 1 rated jungler based on stats. Ad and Jelly, top 3 in their given roles based on stats. Grell, surprisingly, first in CS per minute, farms well, therefore gets gold and has a high gold share. Not only that, He has a high kill share. He is the most carry-oriented jungler in the LLA based on stats. Gets kills, gets gold, gets ahead in farm. And that makes him number one in that role. Ad is third, first in KP, kill share, and second in gold share for top laners. So he is not necessarily a solo split pusher. He gets involved, he gets in fights, therefore gets kills, and that makes him, a different kind of top laner than you saw a lot in spring. Obviously, in spring we saw a lot of Tryndamere and Gwen in the side lane. Let's just go 1v1, hull breaker, and see what happens. Ad was not like that. Jelly, first in champion pool. That was really the only thing notable. Support is kind of weird because there were a couple players in there that actually had nicer stats than Jelly, and even straight for that matter, but were in other regions and lower levels of play. Therefore, they get docked a few points because, it was at a lower level of play. We don't know if they're going to continue that at the next level. Difference with Ophelia. Ophelia is coming from a higher level of play down to what I would argue is a lower level from the LCK to Latin America. So Jelly played more champions than anyone else. Therefore, he is third. Fourth, Infinity. They have a strong bot side with Snaker and Ackerman. That is their bread and butter. That is their value, probably the second strongest bot lane in the league behind Rainbow 7. Snaker, first in CS per minute and gold share. Therefore, he probably is the most fed. Well, he is the most fed AD carry in the LLA, giving him an opportunity to farm, giving him the gold when he wants it, and hopefully he, along with Ackerman, can take them to the next level. Fifth, All Knights. They have a strong top side. They had multiple top laners, so it does remain. It's similar to the Renska situation yesterday with CB Low, because a lot of people are like, why are they so high? They didn't make playoffs. Well, the stats say that if they went with Trap based on his few games played over Edgar, it's spelled Edgar, but it's probably Edgar. They would go up much higher than they were. And in the case of All Knights, it's similar. Going with Zoth. I'm going to go with Zoth. We're going to go with Zophe. Or Zoth. And Crash. Strong top side. One of the stronger top sides actually in the region. The top laner, first in CS per minute and gold share. So he gets ahead in lane. He farms well. Therefore, has more gold than any top laner in Latin America. So he's going to win lane in more cases than not. And then you have Crash. Crash was second in CS and second in kill share. So he's farming well, and when he fights, he gets kills more so than his other jungler, competition. So they're in fifth. So fourth and fifth, very closely matched, just different areas of, power. Infinity in the bot lane, All Night top side. Globant Emerald has a good upper half jungle mid synergy. They are in the upper half of the LLA. Other roles not that good. Waringalis. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Waringalis in jungle. First in champion pool. Played more champions than any other jungler based on the games he played. And he was in the upper half in CS per minute and kill participation. So he's able to farm in an upper half level and participate and create in an upper half, which is a good combination. Sometimes players will farm well but not get a lot of ganks in, and then their KP's lower, or vice versa, where in this case, the jungler for Emerald is able to do both in an upper half level as well as play more champions than anybody else. In mid, Plugo, second in gold share and kill share, gets fed gold, gets kills, therefore gets gold. Not necessarily winning lane, but carrying through team fights. You notice that that's what it is. Like the first three teams are like, oh, they have multiple players on this list, multiple players that should be top three in their roles, and they're well-rounded. And then you get fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's like, well, actually, it's the bot lane, it's the top lane, mid-jungle, duo. That's kind of how it is. And then you get to X10 Esports. It's Keen V9. I understand. I think this is the team that might have White Lotus and Newbie. sorry, but the stats say what the stats say. In Keen v9 is the situation. Keen is by far the number 1 rated mid laner. He is first in every stat outside of champion pool. Based on that, relative to his role, he's actually probably the best player in the LLA. I said that really weird, and it probably came out weird. LLA. So, can Keen carry them? Are the other players around him going to be able to well-round that team into an upper-level team? Who knows? But right now, it is Keen versus the world. Astral Esports tore down after this past split, allowing Mia to go to TSM as an example. And the only player that's actually upper half in their role is Shadow at support. The replacement for Mia is upper half in his role. Otherwise, they don't have anybody. They don't even have anybody listed on here because nobody's in top 3. And different than X10, X10 has a mid laner carry that's their best player, where Astral right now on paper, their best player is Shadow. So comment down below if you like this video. Look at other videos I've put up on my channel of the other minor regions. Yesterday at CB LOL. LCO already started their play yesterday. So their video came out last week. Tomorrow I intend on probably doing Turkey's video. I have Japan's already, all the information for Turkey and Japan on a file to just put on the board. When it comes to PCS in Vietnam, we still don't know when they're going to play, and I'm especially waiting on the PCS because PSG still has not announced who their jungler is going to be. They dropped Juhan and Bay. If you missed my video yesterday, not a lot of people watched it. I did my news and notes, went over 12 different teams or 11 different teams and the moves they made in the last week, and PSG was on the list. That MSI team dropped their jungle mid combo. So if you want to watch that video, it's up on my channel. Went up yesterday. Stay tuned later today. I have my LCS video where I'm going to cover Immortals, and an LCK video where I cover KT Rolster going up on my channel. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you come back for more content.